What's going on, Jeromes? We are back. Happy Tuesday out there, everyone, everywhere. It's the Daily Jeromes live stream, talking Minnesota Fighting Vikings and nonsense every single Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. It's always a good time. And also, like we said, I think we're taking Fridays off during hunting season because going to an undisclosed location, it is what it is. So thank you for making this part of your day. Hopefully, you're getting massive amounts of tacos today. We have a lot of questions. Get into some Q&A. Also, yeah, everyone's talking about Zimmer's girlfriend, allegedly. Nah. Pretty indifferent. All right, so if you want to support the show, purpleftw.com/support. Hit that up, and let's get it going. So the add-on question we also put out there, who is going to be the Vikings starting quarterback week 1 of the 2023 season? So that is the first season after Kirk Cousins' contract expires. If I had to just throw a dart and you have to say a specific name, I'm going to say Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask. I think the Vikings will pick him up in the draft this year. Late first-round pick because the Vikings will be all up in that mix, picking up sticks in the dance. Let's go. Woo! Then you pick up Kyle Trask. He's a quarterback of the future. And maybe you do end up trading Kirk Cousins. Maybe you do end up just cutting Kirk Cousins after 1 year if Trask is ready to rock and roll. But, yeah, I think that he will be the guy. All right, so that's Trey Lance. It's Trey Lance. Who are we kidding? Oh, also, ooh. So I think Trey Lance goes back to school because he's only a redshirt sophomore. I think he'll go back to NDSU for one more season, have a normal year next fall. NDSU 15-0, boat race everyone, all that stuff. And then he will be towards the top of the draft in the 2022 NFL draft. The Vikings will move heaven and earth, pull an RG3 or a Patrick Mahomes adjacent type trade up, go get his ass, sit him a year, and then Trey Lance. There we go. All right, so Jason Gelkin, Mitchell Trubisky Ponder, never over my dead body. Honestly, if the Vikings pick up Trubisky, this may be the end of the channel. It may be like shutter down production value. Zach Ballas, Jake Browning. Oh, boy. Now that the national media jabronis were forced to talk about Harrison Smith, did his chance to get in the Hall of Fame increase? No, because now they're all talking. I just glanced at some of the ESPN stuff. It's like, well, Harrison Smith has always been known as a dirty player. Please, get the hell out of here. Hunter Williams, what's up? Skull from Savage, Minnesota. I think the starting quarterback will be a gun-banging Kirk Cousins with his Trojan horse on his shoulder. Huh? Do you see the Vikings having an easy remaining schedule for the season? I look last, and the Vikings' winning percentage before the Texans game of remaining opponents was .513. Let's see what it is now. I think the Vikings do have a shot, though, because the Packers actually have one of the tougher remaining schedules, I believe. All right. So, the Giants right now are in line for the number one overall pick, so they got that going out for them, which is nice. It's your strength of schedule. Now, is that total strength of schedule or remaining strength of schedule? I guess it really doesn't matter. All right, so the Packers, oh no, never mind. The Packers have a 437. Oh, boy. All right, so the Vikings, 556, so it got a little bit tougher. What can you do? All right, so no, this doesn't sort by that. Whatever. All right, next up is Daniil Hunter is my dad. But so just beyond that, so you have 5 division games remaining, which is great. You have a string of home games where you're at home against Jacksonville and the Panthers and the Cowboys, which is fine. Also, you have your final 7 games either indoors or in Florida. So, I mean, that will certainly benefit the Vikings on the offense. Daniil Hunter is my dad. Why is Harris not having a great year, and why did Hunter comment interesting on the report that he would need season-ending surgery? So Chris Thomason, Pioneer Press, he's tweeting out stuff about Daniil Hunter. It's talking to his trainer, talking to reports, having reports that Daniil will need surgery. Hunter put interesting in there because I'm sure he's mulling over the options. But Thomason, whatever you think about Thomason, he is always buttoned up in reporting. He always has multiple sources, so he's not just shooting from the hip. So I actually do believe his take there. And of course, Hunter's just saying interesting because it's up in the air, and also the way that the media game is played, everyone, all fans are going to side with the players. So it's like, it's whatever. I think that Danielle Hunter is done for the year. Why is Harrison not having a good year? Or Harris not having a good year? It's a good question. So he hasn't graded out that well. You can tell. It's not that he's been exposed, but it is a lot of slack picking up. You have 3 young cornerbacks. Well, and then also bad cornerbacks. Harrison Smith was out in the Texans game, so that had to put a lot more on 41's played. So maybe it's just because he played at such a high level the last 2 years, a little bit slow out of the gate, but we'll see. World Tour General Vince Vaughn. Chipotle carne asada commercials make their steak look like Manny's filet. Yeah, that steak that they have in the commercial doesn't look like what they actually have in the store. So I don't want to say it's false advertising, but it's putting right up against that line. Habitual line steppers, Chipotle. Daniel Olson, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, man. Oh, man. Z Low. What was your initial reaction to the Texans firing Bill O'Brien, the 0-4 after losing to the Vikes? Well, that's what happens when you bump onions with the Vikings. Can't wait for the Vikings to boat race the Seahawks, and they just axe Pete Carroll. Yeah, John Schneider's like, hey, Pete, you're fired. Actually, if Dan Quinn makes it through next week, I think that there's a good chance week 6 after the Vikings put the bank thing on the Falcons that Dan Quinn gets fired. So Vikings have 2 pelts on the Coach Killer resume. Skull Zone, did you hear about Zimmer's girlfriend? Yeah, we saw those reports, and it's pretty much tabloid stuff. It's whatever. Like, obviously, she's a very attractive young lady. It sounds like she's rather accomplished as well. But not gonna. We generally on here, wives, kids, whatever, significant others. Yeah, we generally stay away from that because they're non-combatants to a degree. So yeah. George St. Baptiste. Would you rather have Matt Khalil but never gets hurt and lives up to his hype, or Prime Sam Bradford? Prime Sam Bradford. I would, just because quarterback's still way more important than left tackle. Also, Deshaun Watson for 2023 because Zimmer will offer Barr a 7th rounder and a box of Lucky Charms. Oh, yeah, that was before the... Yeah, he submitted that before the Bill O'Brien firing. Yeah, you do feel bad for Deshaun, man. Although you got the mega deal and you're just surrounded by bully. Although firing Bill O'Brien may actually be a positive thing. All right, so they can get out from underneath his contract for 2023. Well, so they could trade him after the 2022 season with very little dead cap. And by then, this contract is going to look like a steal. So, hell, maybe in 2 years, the Vikings will be in the Deshaun Watson market. I'll be in. Next up is Charlie Boltman. Some future 2021 5th-round pick named Kenny Glove Love Pickett out of Pitt. We're the same number as Kirk. Plays with a glove soaring hand like Teddy and YOLOs like Keenum. This is really, you can't run or hide from it. Patrick Harms. When talking about Aaron Rodgers, can we start referring to him as Karen Rodgers? I always find like, you're changing a football player's name to a girl's name, so that absolutely emasculates him. I think that's pretty weak. It's like, Packers fans will still say, "Oh, the Vikings." Cool. So yeah, there's way more creative insults like the octogenarian Aaron Rodgers, Satsack Aaron Rodgers, the Home Alone on the Holidays Aaron Rodgers, that whole thing. Also, in honor of his first career sack, Wanham is now DJ Gotta Wanham sacks. Matt Hammernick. Skull from Ulen, Minnesota. Who's a good waiver wire pickup at running back this week? Josh Kelly. Well, if you're in a competitive league, he probably isn't there. So Austin Eckler, I believe, tore his hamstring. So Josh Kelly, who's a rookie. Where's Josh Kelly from? UCLA? What was that? So he had actually been getting quite a bit of work. Yeah, there you go. He had actually been getting quite a bit of work and carries even with Eckler fully healthy. So he's a good pickup. God, what's the name of the Browns running back? Dearness Johnson, what just sounds like a fake made-up player. So it sounds like Nick Chubb, I believe, was a torn MCL, something like that. Not an ACL. He won't be gone for the year. But you saw how Kevin Stefanski got down. So, by the way, the Browns' offensive line, they got hosses up front. It's weird how it works out if you invest in the offensive line. By the way, I love Nick Harris coming out of Washington. I think he was a perfect zone fit. He's not starting, but I think that he gets slid in at a guard, but it is what it is. But even with Kareem Hunt getting a lot of work, Dearness Johnson racked up and stacked up, had himself a really good game. So, yeah, the Browns are flirting with the Vikings, trying to be the best running team in the league. It's weird. Ernesto Esparza, Kyle Sluter. Oh, man, could you imagine? Could you imagine? The Sluter strikes back. World 2 Gentlemen's Fun. How come no one talks about Mike Zimmer's? Let us know where you're watching from in the live chat. We'll give a couple of shout-outs. Seth V. Herman, Trask in Florida. Trask. The trade back into the first to get him. Which Viking do you think is the most musically talented? Well, it would have been Stephen Weatherly, because when he came out of Vanderbilt, he, like, the famous thing about it was like he played like a dozen instruments. But as of right now, I bet you Harrison plays like a college douchebag acoustic guitar, toca la guitarra, just to play a little John Mayer, just getting all the chicks. Bonnie is a wonderland. And he doesn't even know 3 chords. He knows 2.5 chords. B. He knows A and G. That's it, and maybe like half a D, except he doesn't play it right. Let's see who else. Actually, all right. So let's make up a band. So a normal 4-piece rock band. So lead singer. Is that you, Rona? God, Everson would have been great. The lead singer. God, who would be a good lead singer? I could see Britton Skullquit. Yeah, I could see Britton Skullquit having a bit of like leather metal rocker, like Rob Haverford, the Judas Priest guy. Breaking the law. Sure. All right, so he's lead singer. Let's see, lead guitar. God, who'd be good? Lead guitar, I would pick. God, no. God, this might sound stupid, but Chad Beebe. God, I feel Chad Beebe could throw down. Plus, what else is he gonna do besides not get open? All right. No, we can't have Beebe as the lead guitarist. Who's gonna be the axe man? Oh, actually, Anthony Harris would be pretty good. I bet you Anthony Harris, 5-minute guitar solo. Bass, Michael Pierce. I always love bands that have a fat guy as the bassist. I don't know, just like it just like it slaps harder. Sorry. So Michael Pierce is bassist. Drummer. Drummer, give me. God, this one's tough. James Lynch. Give me the ginger on the Skins. Yeah, give me James Lynch as the drummer. Why not? Next up is Pulford Skull. Defense coming together better now than preseason is over. Improving weekly will help this team be better. Offense has put up 30 in 3 out of the 4 games. We have the playmakers to make this work. I have to keep feeding Cook, PA, feed Jefferson, and Holy Bootleg Kirk. The Vikings have offensive firepower. They got to fix that defense. Now, two things are working against the defense. The relaxation of the rules. So holding calls going out the window. Yeah, if you're watching back some of the tape, you'll see some just egregious holding calls just not being flagged. It's pretty amazing on both sides, by the way. And then also, they're really ramping up like defensive pass interference. And also, they do not eject Harrison in previous years. They don't. I think that is a thing about 2020 because they're trying to increase scoring, increase attention, which is fine. But you have to learn how to play that game, as well as young players all over the place. Anthony Barr gone, Daniil Hunter gone. Well, not so much Anthony Barr, but you know what I mean. So yeah, Zimmer's got. I actually do wonder deep down. Say Zimmer wins the Super Bowl as the head coach of the Vikings, but his defense is dead last in the league, and his offense is just putting up 50 a game. I actually wonder if deep down he would be kind of pissed, because that's what happened to Brian Billick. So Brian Billick, OC of the 98 Vikings, gets a head coaching job with the Ravens. Second year at the helm, he wins the Super Bowl with the greatest top 2 defense of all time. So you could argue all day who's better, 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears. But one of the greatest defenses of all time, that offense was putrid. That offense was no good, very bad day. It wasn't great. So you got to think deep down. So Brian Billick, Billick's a very proud guy. He's got that very quiet ego about him. So you got to wonder, especially since he struggled so mightily, Elvis Gerbach, Kyle Bowler, trying to find some sort of semblance of offense in Baltimore. He could never do it, and he just rode that defense to the promised land. That's got to irk him a little bit, even though that ring still shines. Next up is Quad Life Buelo. Okay, so I'm confused. Not hating, but you make a video of the Vikings winning, tell us that we were making the playoffs and stuff. They make a video of how to get rid of Kirk and get Trevor or the other guy. Well, 2 things can be true at once. Like, you can walk and chew gum. Like, you can want the Vikings to do well, make the playoffs, as well as you want the Vikings to pick up the quarterback of the future. I don't know how that's confusing. Yeah. Westworld, Andrew, Jerome, Ezekiel, Balthazar, Babuska, Carlson. What's the week 1 starter at right guard in 2021? Wyatt Davis. I don't know. Somehow, some way, they end up with Wyatt Davis and the quarterback of the future. Don't at me. They'll figure it out. Spartus JX. Andy, do you think Spielman is much more likely to trade up in next year's draft to secure the player they want? Mainly because limited amount of tape and or scouting opportunities will be on the college prospects. I dealt with Ben up for Trevor Lawrence, get Trey Lance, go his groom in 2023. I don't know. This may be the season just to sit back, but if certain guys fall, sure. Also, the Vikings do lack that second round pick, but they have 3 fourth rounders and 2 fifths, I believe, and an extra 6. And also getting some compensatory picks. It's awesome. All right, so let's see here. A couple shout outs. Purple Rain Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. What's going on? Rob Burnett, Calgary, Canada. What's going on? Preacher Paul, hauling up for all y'all, is in Seattle, enemy territory, Chazistan. Never mind. Preach Paul's in Kelso, Washington. Head towards the Chaz. There. World 2 General Vince Vaughn. My apologies for the Zimmer girlfriend comment. Skull from Circle Pines. What up? Tyler Banks says Kirk can actually sing. I doubt that. And if he does, he sings soprano. See here. Mano Jiska Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. What's going on? Pulford Skull. Nashville. All up in here. Let's see. All right. Hunter Williams Skull from Savage. What's going on? All right. Thanks for coming along on the daily Jerome's live stream. Next up is World Tour Vince Vaughn. Imagine going back in time to draft season when we were all meh to average hype level on Justin Jefferson. I'm okay with it. Thank you, Eagles, for saving us from ourselves. Although I still think Jalen Reagor is going to be a baller once he actually gets healthy. Gerald Smith, also Packers still blow Skull. Hard agree. Oakview, Baker Mayfield, because that's what we expect. Well, Baker's turned things around. I think Stefanski is a big part of that. So, a little believe. Gerald Smith, after that brisket meal you did, I decided to make some for the game, but I had it with 2 buns, some coleslaw, shredded cheese, with some barbecue sauce. What are you making this week? So I'm undecided. So Seattle's pretty easy. We could do some sort of salmon dish. We could do I like doing like a pan-fried crispy skin salmon with thyme. It's really good. We could do a smoked salmon because the Vikings are going to smoke the Seahawks. I was actually thinking about doing a sea chicken. So, would a sea chicken be a duck? I mean, I guess. That's kind of boring, though. All right, so let's look this up. Let's decide on air. Seattle cuisine. Let's see. What kind of food? This is from eater.com. What food is Seattle famous for? All right, so seafood. What the heck is a Seattle dog? Well, I don't want to do a hot dog because we're one of the two Bears matchups. We're doing a Chicago dog, and also apparently Detroit is known for a hot dog, so we're doing that too. Starbucks. Oh man, Starbucks. Do like a coffee infused salmon. Oh god, that sounds terrible actually. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Probably going to be salmon. Will probably just be boring, but should be a good video. Torrey Hansen. If I had my choice, that quarterback would be Trey Lance, not by tanking either. What we will probably have, though, is another year of Kirk through extension, or it'll be Brown. What a world. Gennaro Grun. I want to see someone with a big arm and mobile and avoid hits. It would be nice if we got someone like Dante, but with better hands to hold on to the ball. Yeah, that was always the thing about Dante. Small hands, like a carny. Smells like cabbage. Just fumbles. No big deal. Next up is Gerald Smith. Is Dancer going to follow DK or Gladney? I think it's going to be Dancer on DK and Gladney on Lockett. I think that's the logical progression. World War II General Vince Vaughn. I like Rick Spielman as their GM. I'm fine with him. Yeah, that's it. Max Kallenberg. Tanner, GDM, Jerome, Ezekiel, Morgan. I like Morgan. I have questions, but it's not beyond the normal questions you have in college quarterbacks. Like, is it the receivers? Is it the system? A lot of very RPO heavy. Yeah. Nathan Johnson, Justin Fields. I have a lot of questions about Fields too. Sailor, you should try to do a video with Tom Grossi sometime. Again, like half of the comments are always been like, no. Yeah. Hey, you should work with someone who has a more successful channel than you because they actually give a shit and they actually have talent. I'm just here for the beer. Travis, veteran Dwayne Haskins after one playoff berth. No. Oh, God, no. For some reason, I watched some of I watched the Ravens game because I like their running game and I love Lamar Jackson, but Washington, Juice World 999. McKinnon from San Francisco or Josh Kelly this week? I would take Kelly. Well, it's tough because Kelly and the other Chargers running back, name escapes me. It's a boring name too. Could split some work. McKinnon, you have a much better receiver. But also, I believe Mostert and Tevin Coleman are trending towards being back. Also, they have another running back like named Jeff something that they've been using. Hey, come on. Let's see. Wicker. Yeah, Jeff. My name is Jeff. Jeff Wilson. Oh, that's where Hasty ended up. Huh. I sort of liked him as a UDFA, but of course, the Vikings racked and stacked up at running back is what it is. All right. So I would take Kelly. Juice World 999, when the Dolphins start playing Tua. When Brian Flores stops being so damn stubborn. I mean, you're not going anywhere this year. You have the Texans first and second round pick, so you got a made in the shade. Start playing Tua. Nathan Johnson, but no tanking. No tanking. Levi cracked. Should be Kirk. Could be Kirk. It's not impossible. Let's see what Kirk could be 33 or 34 by then. A little bit. Josh Imset, not Cousins, hopefully. Scully, Zimmer's hot girlfriend, Trevor Lawrence. Would you rather? So we talking about have on the team because I don't care about Zimmer's girlfriend. I want Trevor Lawrence, which is fine. Just don't have to lose games on purpose. Oscar Hayes. What do you think the Vikings need to do to beat the Seahawks? They got to hold Russ in check. They have to at least blunt one or two drives. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be high scoring. You can put up points on the Seahawks. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun game Sunday night, man. Like, we're talking like 43-39 like type score. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Big 12 football. Hood Pope, whatever, Trey Lance. Woo! Purple People Eaters, Jake Browning, Kirk Cousins. Ugh. Man, try selling that to fans. Boy. Ethan Griffith, Josh Rosen. Why doesn't Kendricks have the green dot? In most defenses, it is the inside linebacker, especially when it is the best player. It doesn't even get the green dot when Barr is out. I was wondering this too. So I don't think it's a spot where they're not offering it to Kendricks. Probably the same thing with the captaincy as well. But also, I feel like Kendricks, he taking something off his plate so he can just fly around and make plays, I think that's fine. And even though Barr is out, Wilson in that role where he's going to be on the field anyway, as he is a 3-down linebacker as well. And it to a degree, it is a leadership role, but it's calling plays, making sure guys are lined up in the right place. But also, it's not like Kendricks can't do that as well after he knows the call. So I don't really think too much of it. Westworld, why do you think the Vikings hate Brett Jones so much? I don't know. And also, it's like they do the triple mean thing where it's like, hey, you're on the practice squad, or hey, last year we cut you, now you're back on the blah, blah, blah. But it's like, hey, not only are you never going to play, even though you played at extremely high level, 2017 when you were a starter for the Giants, as well as the first 2 games of 2018, it's not... We're just gonna keep it in the sphere and then not play you. Great. Rick Spielman, Texas fired O'Brien. Damn straight. Giddy goo. Are you simping? I don't know what that means. Probably. RM Trace McSorley. I like Trace McSorley coming out of Penn State, man. Right. So Trace McSorley is like the 3rd quarterback on the Ravens right now. And there's been talk that maybe they'll use him like Taysom Hill, even though I don't know why you do that when you have the most athletic freak of nature quarterback in NFL history. But McSorley, when he was at Penn State, man, he had some moxie. He just got after it, and I do like that about a quarterback. Also, he's an athlete. He's got a decent arm. He's an interesting dude. Goo. To be honest, I think BC Johnson is done. He is going to get cut or traded by week 8, and Tajay will have signed. I think it's more likely they trade Tajay or cut him. Pulford Skull. The Vikings helped the Texans by getting Bill O'Brien fired. Maybe Dan Quinn is next with the 0-4 Falcons, and Adam Gase could be worse with Zimmer as much as we rag on him. Just like Kubiak had full control of the offense, and the offensive carry has great things. Yeah. Also, how does that look if you're Mike Zimmer? If your defense craters all year and the offense is top dog, and you've literally outsourced all offense to Gary Kubiak, who's assistant head coach. How's that look? Great. Bob to Bob. Vikings will get Dan Quinn fired this year. Damn straight. World II General Vince Vaughn. Hear me out. Holton Hill has a very up and down opportunistic style of cornerback play. I'm not writing him off yet. Well, then you would have ups. Right? So we haven't seen... I actually do like when cornerbacks are aggressive and they take chances. Gladney is one of those guys. Jalen Johnson out of Utah that we really liked in the draft process is also one of those guys. He ended up with the Bears, and now I have to hate him, which sucks. But yeah, Holton, he's not really that gambling ball hawk kind of guy. He's just sort of there or lax in coverage. So, yeah. Patrick Harms, I know you're going to laugh and disagree with me, but I'm going to say Nate Stanley. Ha! I've got my reasons. Probably Hawkeyes fan. Rick won't draft a high quarterback and probably say trial tries to make sense. Or, hey, Teddy. God, could you imagine? Teddy reunion. Zimmer wanted Teddy back. Zimmer did not want Cousins. Zimmer did not want John DeFilippo, but, I mean, it's just like, just pushed upon him. John Lynch, DJ, UI Galele, who's the backup quarterback for Clemson. I mean, maybe. Daniil Hunter's dad. I'm annoyed at the fan base saying tank. Nobody. Not even the Vikings' own fan base really believes in them. To everyone watching, keep the faith. Even if they lose Seattle, they can still be a good team. Yeah. I mean, rooting for your team to lose, that seems counterproductive. Even though, to a degree, I understand, like, well, what's the point of making the playoffs and then losing? Well, who says they have to lose? Yeah. Teams come out of nowhere, make the playoffs, get in the dance, and go on a run all the time. And what about the 2000 Ravens? What about the 2008 Steelers? What about the 07 and 2011 Giants? What about that? Huh? So get in the dance. Weird things can happen. And also, Cousins is the kind of streaky guy that I feel like he could, for 3 or 4 games, just catch fire, a la Joe Flacco in the 2012 playoffs, and then just boom. And then just be absolutely horrible the rest of his career like Flacco. But I don't care if that happens. Pay Kirk Cousins all the money. Don't care. Andrew Cannon, Brock Purdy, sad to say. Yeah, it is sad. Oh, so back to the tanking thing. So, like, intentionally rooting for your team to lose games. Oh, no, sorry. It's not So obviously players will never tank. You won't intentionally lose, but actively rooting for them to lose or do poorly, nah. Just because you think you see a big picture of like, well, we need this guy, we need that guy, and having a high draft position will help that out. Well, we've gone through the stats of first quarterback drafted. We've gone through the stats of number 1 overall pick quarterbacks. It really is a crapshoot. And even though Trevor Lawrence seems like a can't miss generational prospect, things happen. Same thing with Andrew Luck. Things happen. Tom Marinovich, maybe, I'm not saying Lawrence does, but maybe he liked the sauce. Maybe that happens, huh? And also, like we said, like most Vikings fan, like the large majority of the bell curve, like they don't pay attention to transactions. They don't pay attention to the draft necessarily. They look in the Star Tribune. Oh, that's who they drafted, huh? So they just turn on the game on Sunday. They have a cold one. They have some family over, they have some snacks, and they hope the Vikings win a game. They don't care if they're 0-0 or 0-4 or 9-2 or 11-5 or whatever. They turn them on, and for 3.5 hours, go Vikings, right? And what is wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. And also, like we said, not to get all wishy-washy, well, not wishy-washy, but all like in the feelings philosophical. You only have so many seasons in your life. You want one of them where it's just like, where you get this precious, where it doesn't even have a guarantee to work out? Nah. Besides, you're not catching the Jets, you're not catching the Giants, probably not catching the Falcons either. So, yeah, screw that noise. And, yeah, let the Jets ruin Trevor Lawrence. It's fine. Vikings will trade up and get Justin Fields or Trey Lance if he comes out, or not Brock Purdy, or Kyle Trask or Costello or Ellinger or De'Ara King, who I really like too. There's so many freaking quarterbacks in this draft, and it doesn't matter where you take one. Just draft one, build for the future, and then go from there. Other than that, I have no thoughts on the issue. So, all right, so that's it. That is the Daily Jerome's live stream for Tuesday. Thank you very much for coming along. We'll be back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. You guys are the best. Subscribe to the channel. Stick around for a while if you're new. Watch all the videos. Skull production value.